In this quiz, we're focusing in on vocabulary. How well do you know these words? So let's begin with the first one. Which word means to express a viewpoint? Is it reception, lounge, couch, or sofa? And the answer is couch. So when we couch something, it is a verb. Yes, it's also a noun, and it means the same thing as a lounge or a sofa. But as a verb, it also means to express a viewpoint. For example, Belinda couched her enthusiasm at the meeting. Sentence number 2. Which word means a pocket of air that has been inhaled and then exhaled? Is it breath, breathe, breaths, or breathes? And the answer is breath. Now you're probably wondering, why is it not breaths? Well, breaths is plural. And the question was, which word means a pocket of air? When we use the article a, it means singular. When we talk about breathe, that's a verb, and it is the act of breathing. It's the act of taking a breath or more than one breath. For example, his breath sample showed a reading of 0.25. So maybe he was stopped by a breathalyzer. Question number 3. Which word means a conclusion? Is it decision, decide, deciding, or will decide? And the answer is decision. So when we have finally made up our minds, we have made a decision. To decide is a verb. So we're in the midst of having to decide. Deciding is the infinitive, and will decide, of course, is the future. So the answer here is decision. An example sentence would be, that wasn't an easy decision to make. Sentence number 4. Which word means to develop a skill? Acquainted, acquiesce, acquire, or accuse? And the answer is to acquire. So when we want to acquire something, we want to develop. That's one of the meanings, is to develop a skill. You can also acquire things, acquire bags, books, pens, computers. But it also means to acquire a skill. Acquainted, no. That means you're acquainted with somebody, so you know somebody, but they're not really close to you. Acquiesce means to agree with something, and accuse means that you're pointing at somebody for doing something wrong. And an example sentence would be, you don't want to acquire bad testimonials. Question number 5. Which word means to rely on someone or something else? Is it habitual, obsession, drain, or dependence? If you said dependence, you are correct. It's not habitual because that's to do with habit. Obsession means that we completely obsessed. We are attracted to something and can't stop thinking about it. And drain, of course, has a different meaning altogether. To drain means to lose energy or to lose something. And an example sentence here would be, the city's dependence on gas isn't such a bad thing. Sentence number 6. Which word means to shut someone off from all forms of social interaction? Is it seclude, secluded, evict, or evicted? And the answer is to seclude. Now, secluded is the past tense. To evict means to actually kick somebody out. And of course, evicted is the simple past tense of evict. So the answer is to seclude, to shut someone off. You could shut yourself off or somebody else. An example sentence would be, I usually go to the mountains when I want to seclude myself. Number 7. Which word means to provide inhabitants, whether it be people or animals? Is it popular, populate, population, or explosion? If you said populate, you are correct. So population, of course, is the noun. To populate is a verb. Popular, of course, is an adjective. And explosion? Well, explosion means a huge eruption. Something big happens all at once. An example sentence would be, backpackers seemed to populate the local cafes. Sentence number 8. Which word means to be aware of something or someone? Is it obvious, admit, new, or known? And the answer is known. Because you know something doesn't mean it's obvious. To admit something means that you are telling somebody about something they didn't know. And new is, of course, the past tense of know. An example sentence would be, Paul has known about the new rules for some time. It's, of course, the past participle and used in the perfect aspect. Sentence number 9. Which word means the act of providing or getting special treatment? Is it flavour, favoritism, famous, or fragrance? And if you said favoritism, you are correct. It's not going to be flavour, because flavour can relate to anything, food, colour, clothing, anything. Favoritism is a noun that's to do with behaviour. And of course, it's not going to be famous or fragrance, which is a smell. An example sentence would be, the umpire was accused of favoritism after removing a player. And lastly, sentence number 10, which word means complex instrument or instruments, plural, used for a specific job? Is it apparatus, structure, mean, or appliance? And the answer to this is apparatus. Now, if you said appliance, well, there is a difference. An apparatus relates to a set of complex instruments, whereas an appliance relates to one object. So, for example, firefighters entered the building with full apparatus. So apparatus here is the sum of everything that they need to fight a fire. It'll be their jackets, their breathing equipment, it'll be fire hoses, and anything else they have in their fire truck. So all of that, the sum of all of those things is what we relate to apparatus. And that's the end of this quiz. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.